Yeah.
Good. Now, so what I wanted to do today was to really show you what I've done with Piazza and what things I've changed. I've sent an email out, but it was one of those long, super long emails, which was a lot of information. So my priority was to look through the rest of the semester and really cut down to the essentials. So what it is that we absolutely need to make sure that we address, that we look through, that you work through, so that when you're teaching or when you're taking MTEL, whatever it is that your next steps are, or when you're taking 113, 114, that that you're prepared for. All right, so we'll do that with as much flexibility as we possibly can. I really went in and I kind of teased out the activities that we really need to go through. Most of them, I agree with the textbook, with the author. She has the little apple core on next to the activities. Those are the really important things. Those are the things we should be focusing on. I've added a couple of things, a couple of activities, but they're mostly just my explanations where I know that something really important comes up in that activity and I'll explain that activity and I'll point out what's important. So you'll see the videos. I'll show you where the videos are. I'll show you where the new schedule is for kind of how you should be working. There is a catch-up week at the end of the semester so that I know stuff happens, life happens. We need to have a little bit of time to catch up at the end. I've cut the assignments down to just one remaining assignment. So there'll be two in total, one you've already submitted and this new one. And I've cut out the midterm and there's just going to be one final. The final is going to be in a form of kind of a hybrid of our midterms. It's going to be independent. I will expect you to be doing your own work, but it's going to be completely open book. So I will send you the final exam, and you will have the day to return it back to me. So you can actually tell me which day you want it, and I will during the final exam, and then you'll have the day to work on it. Okay. I'll give you boundaries in there, but you can wiggle within that schedule a little bit. Then I'm still working out the details about how you're going to get it back to me. But I have a couple of ideas. One of them is Rocketbook, which is just a little app on the phone, and you take a picture of the pages, and then you send it to me. So that's one of the ways that we might be looking at doing that. I'm still thinking about it. Okay. But generally the weeks are going to look like, let's actually, I'll share my screen. So we're going to go to Piazza and resources, and I'm going to start there because I would like all of you, that'll be our starting point for everything. So if you see here, can you guys see okay?
Yeah.
Piazza? All right, so I have the old timeline with a sad face. That's gone. The current timeline is what we're working off now. And what it should do is it should give you a PDF that it downloads. So you can open that up. It's on your computer. You don't have to go online anymore unless something changes. Now, this is kind of where you can go for most of your scheduling and kind of pacing information. So today is the 23rd. Where for this week, we should be looking at finishing up chapter 2, so sections 2.3, 2.4, and 2.5. I have 2 online check-in for the week, and those will be Mondays. So every Monday, we're going to meet up like this and just check in, make sure there's, see if there are any questions. This top in blue, that's actually a link. So if you have the timeline, this is where you can link to Zoom, to the meeting. Okay, it'll be the same link unless I mess something up. It should be the same thing every week, and you just go there and link it. And then on Tuesday evening and Friday, I'm going to just have Q&A, that if you're stuck on, you'll be doing a lot of this independently. Although if you can group up with your group members, that's really helpful. Continue working together on this if you possibly can. But if you have questions on Tuesday night and Friday during this time again, you're more than welcome to drop in on Zoom. I'll just be sitting here online and sadly waiting for anybody to talk to me. and you can ask me questions about the content or about anything that's coming up. Okay. So, and then the following week, again on the 30th, we'll be focusing on chapter 3, and then we'll meet up on Monday like this, and then you'll be off on your own, working collaboratively or on your own if you need. Assignment 2 is now due on April 20th. And then the final exam will be sometime on the week of Monday 11th. Actually, it could be the week before as well, but whenever the final exam period is. Any questions on the timeline?
So this is basically just a pace that you're recommending we go at for like learning the chapters ourselves?
Correct.
Okay.
So let me show you what the support is for you learning the chapters yourselves and how I'm foreseeing this happening. We're going to try and mimic as much as possible what was happening in face-to-face. But because, you know, my teaching philosophy hasn't really changed with online, there are just some limitations. So I'm still expecting that you take a look at your activities. So you're going to start with the activities, and because from the survey I got feedback that not everybody has access to their activities for whatever that reason is, it doesn't matter. Everything went upended last week. So I've posted scans of every single chapter of activities here. So if you're looking at activities chapter 2, you can open that up. You can print it, you can save it, you can do whatever you want with it, as long as it opens. Okay, so with each of the activities, I've gone through and I've highlighted in green, right, things that we really need to focus on. Most of them are these core activities, right? If there's an Apple core, then it's the one we want to use, that we want to look at. So this chapter 2, we've already gone through in class. This part of chapter 2, we've gone through in class. I've highlighted anyway, just for completeness. And I will eventually go back, when I catch up on chapter 3 and 4, I'll go back to fill in the videos for this chapter 2, for the beginning of chapter 2. But just so that you see, if you open up, you see this 2C, I didn't highlight it, you can just skip it. This is a minor point that they're trying to make. We're gonna bypass it this time. So, and then, so 2D, relating fractions and wholes, we actually talked about all of this. So let's get to the things that we're doing now. So we're gonna be starting on 2-3 this week. So let's say that you're starting on Monday, you're opening this up. I would still like you to look at the activity like you did before class, and go through it and see if you can think about some of the ways that you would answer that question. I don't expect you to know the answer, right? Because this is brand new. This is the first time you're looking at it. So it's as if you're preparing for a face-to-face class. So you look through this, and you go through, and you can do it section by section, like do 2.3 first, and then finish 2.3, and then go back and start with 2.4, and then work through 2.4. It's up to you. But this is pretty much what it's going to look like. So let's say you've done that. Now you're ready for what I would call class time. So, and this is where I hope, okay, hold on. So you saw where I clicked. At the end of the scanned activities, there's something called activity solution videos, right? Everybody okay? You see that? So that's where we're going to go. And that should open you up into my YouTube channel. And in YouTube channel, I currently have 2 playlists. And one of them is MA112 Beckman 2, chapter 2. So if you play this playlist, you will see, and I'm going to try and pause it. You will see that on the right side, I have active. I can't see it behind you guys. Hold on. There we go. I have the activities from sections 2. Not 2.3. That's weird. Okay, so I need to go back and do 2.3. But the activities that you would have assigned for this week. Okay. So then you would open one of the videos, and that is a screencast of me working through the activities, talking through the activities. All right, so let's moving on to section 2.4. The focus on this is really using. Okay. So, and I will actually work through and write out as if I would in class, as if you have me face to face, the activities that we were working on. And if once it loads in the middle, you'll see a little screenshot. Okay. Does that make sense? Sadly, it's not something, so what we lose is this interaction and the conversation. What we gain is flexibility for you guys to do this when you have time, when you're in the right place and with the right technology and in the right frame of mind. Okay. So that was kind of my goal for how we were going to adapt, is to give you that flexibility. So if there's any issues with technology or with access at any point, make sure that you stay in touch with me, that you're not just spinning your wheels for the week and losing that week. You want to maximize any available productive time that you have, so we're not spinning wheels and falling behind. Okay. Does that make sense for now? You guys are good? Speak up if you have a question. You might feel like you're butting in, but just unmute and ask. So once you've listened to the video and watched the video for the particular activities that you're working on, I've also scanned the actual textbook pages. So as if you were doing it after a discussion in class, you would go back and I would ask you to read the page chapters. So you could open that up and go to the section that we just looked at in class. As soon as that loads up. All right, so let's say we're doing section 2.4. This should be 2.4 by the looks of it. Yep. So reasoning to compare fractions. So you're working on that. You would read through this. And once you get to the end of the chapter, there is the chapter summary, the section summary, pardon me. Read through that, make sure that the statements and the key understandings make sense. And then there are these practice exercises. This is a really good idea, especially as you're preparing for that final or preparing to kind of summarize your work. So the exercises, the reason they're good is because the solutions are right there, right behind them. Okay. And then after that, there's a section of what they call problems. Now with this one, there are no solutions in the book. So if you have questions, we'd have to talk about it on a Monday or a Friday, face to face. But what I would do is I would try these core ones again. So look for the apple in the problems and try them out. It is very likely, okay, read this in bold and highlighted and in red and all caps. It is very likely that those are the kinds of questions that will be the focus for the final exam. Okay, so the more work you do ahead of time to try to make sense of these problems, the easier it's going to be for you to use your resources to do the final. Okay, so feel free to look at them, make sense of them. If they don't make sense, ask me, do whatever you need to make sure that you're okay on those. And then you could go to 2.5, do the same route again. Look at the activities, see if they make sense, see what you can contribute to them before reading any of this or watching my videos, then watch the video, then read the textbook, flesh out the activities, and then study with the problems. And pardon the background noise. I think we lost some computer time there. All right. Okay. Any questions? So pipe in, unmute, pipe in, ask questions.
Are we going to have like exit tickets to do during class?
No.
Is there going to be like any more like ed puzzles that we have to do?
I don't foresee it. I'm really trying to streamline it. So a lot of the stuff that we did in the beginning of the semester, I'm just going to count what you've already done as the grade for that part. And right now, if you have anything outstanding for that, go back and do it, right? I will give you a progress report as soon as I just catch up and catch my breath. I'll give you a progress report so that you know what you don't have, what you still need to do. Most of you guys are right on top of that, of everything. So I'm not foreseeing too many surprises there. But if, and you know, you've probably learned by now that if I'm the delay, then I'll push back the deadline for you guys so that you have a reasonable amount of time to reply to something, to do something. So if I don't get to it this week, then I will push back the deadline for you to complete anything missing from the first half. So it's hopefully that'll work. Okay. Any other questions?
So let me see if I understand this correctly. So we'll have like online meetings on Mondays and Fridays?
Online meetings that like this, a check-in
Yeah.
with all of us on Mondays. On Fridays, I would like to keep it open for you guys so that if you want to come in and ask a question, you can. It doesn't have to be during our class time. I've got an open block, right, that you can come in at any time during that and ask me a question. If it's something that's that you need a private question, like if it's sensitive information or a private question, just let me know ahead of time that that's what you want to do, and I'll make sure that I have some one-on-one time with you. Tuesday nights are also going to be an open in case you guys, I know some of the students we have are working extra because they're on the front lines, they're in the medical professions, and they're you know, supporting everybody with extra work hours. So I'm just trying to be flexible. So if that's you and you can't meet me during any of that time, let me know and we'll figure something out.
Speaking of that, this typically isn't my class time, but I will be working all week, starting from noon to 6. So can I still continue to join this class time? I work at it. So typically my class time would be the next, what time is it? It starts at 11:15. You have that other meeting 11:15.
Yeah, come anytime, and to either of these two. And also, if you see, on Mondays, I will try to record the sessions so that if you don't make it, then you will be able to see what we talked about, and especially in terms of like the announcements of some of the other questions, general questions that people are asking, so that you'd still be able to come in and get that information flexibly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Is there going to be like a homework check type thing, or is this just we're learning for our ability, and if we're not on top of our task, then that's when we fall behind ourselves?
So this is where where I'd really like to stay in touch with everybody, that I need you guys to, this is going to be the challenge, is that if you are falling behind, you need to make sure that you promise yourself to reach out. If I don't see you guys, reach out to me, reach out to your group members, reach out to somebody. If I don't see you guys on a Monday, I will generally, unless I've heard from you that you're not coming, I'll reach out to you to say, is everything okay? Is everything fine? But in terms of looking at working through the material, and if something doesn't make sense and you've looked at the video, you've looked through the textbook and it still doesn't make sense, make sure that you reach out and you ask that question just like you would in class, right? It's just a little bit easier with the online structure to fall behind, and that's a really big challenge, I think, with doing this. Well, we've got everything else going on and we're kind of in our own spaces. Okay, but absolutely reach out and ask.
Okay.
The other option that you could do is, as you're working through the week, what we could do is say, you send me an email and you say, I really am not understanding section this, activity this, can you go through that again, please? And I could record an explanation, or I could, next time we meet face to face, I might explain it and then record that and post it, so that we can, you know, that explanation can go to everybody who needs that help, right? Because chances are you're not alone struggling with that particular concept.
Okay.
Any other questions? Everybody good? All right, so you have a plan, right? So we're right now, I'd like you to make sure that if you haven't haven't been on Piazza for a while, go back on Piazza, take a look, make sure it all still makes sense to you where things are. Look at the sections, the 2.3, 2.4, and 2.5. I will post the videos. I'm not sure what happened. I'm pretty sure I did 2.3, but I will make sure that everything is up on that playlist on YouTube, that you have access to it, work through it yourselves. And then when you are, if you've done with that, take a look at the assignment too, because it's coming up in about a month, but still it's good to know what you need to do.
For assignment 2, are we working in like pairs again, or is it just by ourselves?
This one is by yourself. There was going to be an assignment that of the 2 assignments, one of them was going to be in pairs, and one of them was going to be on your own. And I decided that with the flexibility that we need right now, it's going to be really challenging to have yet another collaborative thing that you need to work on for grades together. So I decided to split it up. If there's somebody that is really committed and really wants to work together in pairs, I would need an email from both people saying, yes, we're committing to this and I would like to work in pairs, and then I would say. Anything else?
I just wanted to ask, in terms of like graded assignments, is it just the assignment 2 and the final that are really going to be graded?
At this point, yeah.
Okay.
In terms of assessments, yeah.
All right.
And so
Now-
we're done with Khan Academy too.
I would suggest that you stay on it, but I'm
Okay.
not going to, because, and if you'd like, I can make some more missions. Actually, that's a good idea. I'll make you guys some more missions so that you know what you can be working on, but there's no way that I'm going to require it at this point, because as I said, we're really trying to streamline everything and make sure that we hit the really important points here. We're kind of in an unprecedented time, so I'm not going to be putting any pressure on you for Con, but if you are able to work on it, then I would suggest that you do. But the grade will stand as if before spring break. If you want to finish anything up, you can. But I'll write down Khan Academy to give you some more missions to look at, so that if for those of you that do have that time, you can. The other thing in the email that I sent out is that if life happens and you aren't able to complete the work for the end of the semester, I totally understand. I will be very willing to give incompletes during this semester, and I'll be very willing to be available and just to make sure that we're all continuing to work on this, and that I can answer any questions until the end of summer, so that you can finish that incomplete by the end of summer. That I think is the most kind of realistic thing I could do. So if you're ready and you need the grade, to go into the next course, or if it's something like that, then you really need to make sure that you finish it soon, as in by the end of the semester. But if for some reason something happens, you do have until the end of the year, and I'll give you an incomplete, and we'll change the grade until the end of the summer. We'll change the grade by then. Okay. Also, just so that you know, if this format is something you enjoy and you like and you work well with, then I'm trying to get a 114 online similar to this for summer 1. So if you are able to finish this course and you want to take 114, we're going through all the paperwork right now to get one going for summer 1. Okay, and after 112, you can do 113 or 114 in any order. So you can do 114 first if you want to. I just want to make sure, excuse me, that we're Though we all touch base at least one time during the week, and I was hoping that we can do that on a Monday, so that we can keep pace a little bit. I can kind of set you up with a goal for the week, and yes, thank you. I don't like getting pod. I don't know if you can see him here. Yeah, Mowgli, say hi. So anyway, so that we can set up the goals and make sure that we're on the same track. Generally, what I've done is I've looked at what we had left in the course, and I've really pulled out the things that I think are essential for you guys. So a lot of things went by the wayside. So things like tickets to leave, we're not going to be doing. Things like Ed Puzzle, I think we're done with Ed Puzzle. Things like I have, not that they weren't helpful, they were, but I think that we need to focus here and make sure that we have as much flexibility moving forward for you guys to deal with the rest of life, so that we can successfully finish the course and successfully set you up for what comes next, whether it's 113, 114, or whether it's teaching, whatever it is that you need to do with this course. So that was pretty much my goal. So overall, I tried not to change the structure of kind of how we are learning the material. So for example, hi there, everybody signing on now. How we're structuring the material. So you'll still be looking at the activities. You'll be working through the activities initially just to see what you can bring to it, just like you did in preparation for class, face-to-face class. Then I will post a video of me going through the activities and talking through them so that you have that experience as well. And then I'm still expecting you guys to take a look through the textbook after that to flesh out anything else that is important for those activities, and then to work on the problems and exercises. So the structure is going to be still the same, but what we won't have is that face-to-face question answer period and the discussion. So hopefully I'll be able to capture that in a video, and that will be, I'll show you how those videos are going to work. Okay. In terms of assessment, a lot of people were asking me in the previous class about assessment. I've toned that down as well. I've really narrowed it to make it a little bit more manageable, I think, since this is a new normal for us. So we're going to only have one assignment. We were supposed to have 2 more. I'm going to tone that down to 1. It's already posted. It's due on the 20th of April. So that one is designed as an individual assignment, because what I can't do is sometimes when groups don't work or pairs don't work very well together with stuff happening, it's very difficult. It's unfair to each of the partners. So what I did was I as a default signed it up as an individual. But if you know that you have somebody that you really want to be working with and you think it'll be really beneficial to your learning, you can email me, but both need to commit to being able to put in the time and the effort. So you know, we can work on that. The other thing is there was a midterm and a final. I've streamlined that as well. There's going to be 1 exam, which is going to be take home, and during the final exam week, and there will be flexibility about when you're taking it, because life happens. If for some reason some of you guys might be working overtime to make sure that you're, you know, with your jobs, you need to be there, or you know, daycare not being open, I'm sure that's a challenge as well. So anyway, I'm trying to include as much flexibility as possible for you guys. So sometime during the final exam week, we will have a take-home exam, which stay home exam, which you will then, I'll show you how we'll scan in and get that to me so that I can get that graded. Okay. So 1 exam, 1 assignment is what's going to be left. If that's something that is really hard to stay on track with, there are a couple of ways that we can work around that. First of all, at the end of the semester, I have a catch-up week, during which time, if you fell behind for any reason, you can spend that week catching up, and we'll stay in touch and make sure that I can be as supportive with that as possible. And also, if for any reason anything happens that you can't finish this, finish all the work by May 6th or whatever the last day of classes is, then I will be very prepared to give everybody incompletes, or give, not everybody, but the people who couldn't complete it, an incomplete until the end of the summer, and then support you and work with you through the end of the summer to get that done for next semester. Okay, so we are in this together. We're going to get through it. What we need to do, though, is make sure that we're in touch, and that if anything is going on, we are really we have the pulse of what's happening right away, so that we can be most effective and most do this most painlessly. Having said that, I'm sure that as you guys are, I mean, nobody signed up to do this. Nobody signed up to do full-time online. You guys didn't. Many students I know don't like online courses, so this isn't our choice. It's the same for the faculty. So I know from my conversations with some of the professors that they're really struggling putting their material online, either because of the material, the kind of material, or because that's not their comfort level, the comfort area. Some faculty don't use technology at all. So just kind of wanting you to be, to stay kind to yourselves, especially, but also to others, as we're kind of struggling through and trying to make sense of this. So I'm just going to open it up now. So unmute yourself and let's have a conversation about kind of what's going on, what your worries are. And then I'll go in and I'll show you in Piazza what kind of resources are up there and what that looks like now. Okay. So let me know, how are you guys doing? What's the challenge? What's going well?
I was wondering, are the Khan Academy still going to be due?
So good question. That's one of those things that I'm going to make available to you, but I'm not going to require it. Okay. So I think it's a good tool. I will update it with more things that you can do, because if you are home and you can be productive, it's a good place to go. I'm not going to be, it's not going to be part of the course. I don't think I can reliably put, I don't think I can, in all my judgment, put an extra pressure on you guys in something like this, but it's a good resource for MTEL Prep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Another thing that once I catch a breath with all the videos and everything, I will put up your progress reports on Blackboard so that you can track if you are missing anything before the spring break. And if you are, then you will have time. Right now it's till the 27th, but if it takes me longer to put that up, to get that all together, I'll extend it. But you'll have some time to go back and fill in anything that's missing, so that we can close the door to the before spring break and really focus on what we're doing now. Any other questions, concerns?
Are we just like meeting? So we're meeting like just like this on Mondays, and then for Wednesday and Friday, are you just gonna tell us like today or like on Monday what we're gonna be doing?
So if there are no more questions, let's get into that, and I'll show you kind of how everything is going to get structured.
Okay.
So because yeah, you'll know exactly what you need to be doing from now until the end of the semester, and pretty much a layout schedule, suggested schedule of kind of where you need to be at any given time. Okay, but we will be touching base on Monday mornings during class. A lot of it is to just make sure that we are addressing any issues of technology or anything like that early. Also, if you're going through the activities and you realize that one activity is problematic, you can let me know and we'll go through it together. So anything where we can really be in that, capture that face-to-face environment as much as possible so that we can respond to whatever is needed. But yeah, so Mondays we'll meet together. Wednesdays we're not meeting at all. And then, but Tuesday nights and Fridays, and you'll see the schedule, and Fridays, you can call in at any time and I'll be hanging around answering questions. Okay, but it doesn't necessarily need to be at any given time during that block, and you don't have to show up. Generally, just, you know, stay in contact with your groups, stay in contact with me. If I don't see somebody for a while, I'll do a kind of a wellness check to make sure that everything is okay. But generally just kind of the important thing is to stay in touch and not hide in our separate places and, you know, withdraw. One thing that faculty are really asking each other to remind people is when we're doing online videos, to make sure that everybody in your house knows that you are online and there's an active camera. I guess a couple of faculty have had surprises in the back, in the kind of the behind the students and faculty as well, that people didn't know there was people in the house and were not exactly appropriate. So yeah, let's make sure that everybody either knows or you're in some corner sitting with the door closed or something. Okay. Just sorry, a general public announcement. All right, so let's then go to, I'll show you what's going on with Piazza. I'm going to share my screen. And can you guys see my screen? Yeah, you're good to see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So Piazza has changed a little bit. We still have the Q&A. Everything is good there. Now, if we go to resources, you will see that I've updated, you may not see this stuff, it's a little bit cleaner for you. This is my instructor's version. So I've updated the old timeline. It's kind of sad and lonely, but we do have a new timeline. And if we open that, it downloads a PDF for you. When you open that PDF, what you should see is something like this. So you see that week of, I'm not scheduling day by day, I'm just scheduling by week. So week of today, we're going to be focusing on chapter 2 with sections 2, 3, 2, 4, and 2, 5. Okay. We're going to have online check-in, so face-to-face check-in on Monday, either at 10:10 or 11:15. It's up to you when you drop in, but at one of those times, please do that. And then the Q&A, you don't need to know, you can let me know that you're coming if you want a one-on-one conversation, but otherwise you can drop in. And then next week we'll focus on chapter 3. The week after that we'll focus on chapter 4, etc., etc. And May 4th we have a catch-up week. Okay. So any questions on the timeline? So you kind of know where the focus is going to be for each week. Everybody good? Pipe in if you have a question. All right. So then let's say we're focusing on the rest of chapter 2 this week. So you scroll further down and I have posted all the activity pages for all the chapters for this course, So whether you, for any reason that you don't have access to your activities, you can download them here. So if I open it up here, you will see that the chapter 2 activities are there. Now, I've annotated or I've highlighted some of the activities that I really want you to focus on. So I've really gone through and I said, where are the main concepts? Most of the time, I agree with the author, and it's going to be these core activities where you see this little apple core. So I've highlighted the core activities, but what you really want to do is go into this particular document and look for the activities that are highlighted in green with a big exclamation point. Okay. So this we've done in class already. So let me go to 2.3. Let's see. Okay, so we finished on 2H. So 2.3, explaining equivalent fractions. So this activity. So let's say that this is where you are. You're starting Monday morning. This is the first activity for this week. What I'd like you to do is, as I said, as before, look through the activities in the section and answer what you know you can answer, whatever you're coming in with, right? I don't expect you to know the answers. Just do a brain dump effectively, right? Of what you know and what you're thinking right now. So let's say you've done that for activity 2I, and to J we're skipping, and to K, for example. Okay. Then what you can do is you can go back to Piazza, and you see at the bottom here it says activity solution videos. So if you click there, that should take you to my YouTube channel, where you will see playlists for Math 112 Chapter 2. This is a playlist for Math 114. So let's go to playlist 112 Chapter 2. And you can see that there are, hi everyone. Oh, my so goodness, let's get back to the fractions conversations that we were having. Okay, so you'll see that there are videos in this playlist for different separate activities. And the way that I'm doing it is I'm just doing a voiceover over me writing out the solutions for that activity. So it's similar to what we were doing in class. Okay, so you listen through that, and then you can go back to Piazza and take a look through the textbook for that same section. I've posted the scans of the textbook chapters as well, in case you don't have yours. So you will open up the chapter 2. You will scroll down to chapter 2, section 3. As soon as that loads up. All right, so this is chapter 2, section 3, I believe. Nope, yeah. So you will read through that, see if there is anything else to add to what you've already understood for the activities. And you will see the section summary. Okay, just for the big ideas here. So take a read through that. The practice exercises are really good to look at. Work through those as studying. The answers are right there, okay, as well. And then after the answers to the practice exercises, there's a problem section. The problem section also has these apple cores. So I would focus, when you're looking and trying to make sense of these problems, focus on the apple cores only. Okay, so really limit those. Now, I can pretty much guarantee you that your final exam will come from these questions, the apple core questions for the sections that we're working on. So if you can answer them while you're studying, right, while you're working on that section, answer as many of them as you can, then what's going to happen when you get your final open book exam is you will be able to use your notes to be able to answer those questions. Okay, make sense? All right. And then you would say, all right, let me go back to chapter 2.4, section 2.4, and do the same process. So in a section, you look at the activities on your own, do a brain dump, you look at the videos, right, work through them, you look at the textbook to flesh out, and then you work on the problems at the end of the textbook. Any questions on that? Okay. As you're going through these and you have, if you have any questions on a particular activity that my video didn't answer, feel free to send me an email. Say, can you do 2J question 2 again? Or can you do a longer explanation of that? I didn't quite catch that. And then what I'll do is I'll record a longer explanation and I'll post it. Okay, so that we can make sure that all the questions are answered and that as many people as possible can see it. Okay. Any concerns, questions on this stuff? Oop. Stop share. There we go. I'm back. Anything unclear? Everybody good? Okay. All right. I think Let me just go back to make sure that I've told you everything. The assignments are posted. If you don't remember your group members, the group 2 is posted. All of it is on Piazza. So anything else? Everybody all right? What do you think are some, can you think of some worries or challenges that you might, yeah, go ahead.
Do we have to post those assignments, or is it just like we'll talk about it on Mondays if we have any like questions about it, like the practice problems?
The second part. So if you have any questions or concerns, either come and see me on a Tuesday or a Friday, or on Monday we can go through it as well. Or you can email me and I will audio record an answer. Like if it's a particular activity, you could say, you know, can you get a little bit deeper into this one? It didn't make sense. Then I will record a longer explanation.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. The one thing that I wanted to let you know is that obviously if you are able to stay on track and complete this material by May 6th or whenever that is, you'll get the grade. Obviously, I also mentioned that if you don't, then I'll be happy to do an incomplete. If you're able to finish this course, and if you like this format, then I'm working on offering an online 114 in the summer 1. So after the 112, you can actually go either straight into 113 or 114, either way, in any order. So if this is something that works for you, you can try the summer 114 as well. It's not up yet, but it will be on the schedule. Okay, so I know kind of our life has been uprooted a little bit, and some of us are stuck in the house, and you know this may be a productive time, and you may want to try a summer course to get through some of the program. I generally will try to record the Monday meetings, and I will post them. So if you miss a Monday meeting, you can look through the announcements, at least the part of the announcements. I'll cut out things that are either, you know, not something we want to post, or you know, dead silence. I'll try to edit it a little bit, but I will put the most important things up there so that we can, if you aren't able to make it, you'll be able to see some